Hey guys, I am back. Welcome back. Just took my shot. It hurt more than usual, but at least the leakage and the bleeding is down. We'll see what happens. When I took my last shot, after like the next day, my leg hurt so bad that I couldn't even lay on it, and that was really unusual for me. So today I'm going to the doctors to figure out if that's normal or not. We'll figure it out. But yeah, last time there was more bleeding, more pain, especially afterwards, which I was not used to. So I'm going to the doctors. It's great. But other than that, a lot of people have noticed my voice change, and like literally that's it. All right, that's it for the update on my shots, which was really short. Sorry about that. There's not a lot to update on, other than like this shot hurt a little more than normal, but there wasn't a lot of bleeding or other things like pain. I mean, there wasn't a lot of bleeding. I didn't massage my leg this time, which might contribute to the more pain. And I also wasn't as tired as I usually am when I first take my shot. I usually try to take my shots when I am more tired so that I don't notice really that my body isn't fully awake, so it's not registering the pain or whatever. But other than that, everything went really well. I've been having a lot of voice cracks, crazy voice cracks, and everybody's been noticing, so that's really nice. I've been getting called ma'am less and less, which is great. But other than that, everything's pretty much the same. So yeah, that's it for the update, and on to the real topic of this video, dysphoria. So, I should have looked it up. I don't know the actual definition of dysphoria, but I know it's when it's that feeling when you look at yourself, like if you're transgender or otherwise, if you look at yourself and you feel this intense, like, pain, I guess, in your heart, because you know this is not what you're supposed to look like, because your outsides are not matching your insides. And it's kind of really hard to deal with. You gotta work with that slowly. You gotta understand that there are ways to make your outsides match your insides. And I think the first step to coming to terms and lessening your dysphoria is, coming to terms with the body that you're in. I guess before you were trans, you hated your body, and I feel like that's the dysphoria, but you didn't know it was dysphoria. You probably just thought it was just you being, normal, hating your body, which a lot of people don't like how their body looks, and they hate it, and they don't come to terms with it, and they can't just be comfortable in their own skin. And there is a way to be comfortable in your own skin as a trans person, despite, having physical traits that aren't the gender that you are. For me, it took like 19 years. It took my entire life up until this year for me to really finally come to terms with my body. I've gone through a lot of things like abuse, sexual abuse. I went through that. And so that contributed to self-hatred, especially body image. And I've finally gotten over that, and I'm just going to share with you how I did that. Maybe it'll help, maybe it won't. Maybe you'll find your own ways. Maybe you don't even hate your body, which is great. But hopefully it will lessen your dysphoria. Hopefully. Maybe you can find your own ways. Anyways. So first, what I did to come to terms with my body, to not hate myself as much, is, well, it wasn't healthy at first. I just wouldn't look at myself. I wouldn't acknowledge that I had a chest or, other things. I wouldn't acknowledge it, which is not really the best thing to do. But when you're in that place where you don't know what to do, that's as far as you can really get at the moment. I'm an artist. I used to only mainly draw like cartoony things. So whenever I drew myself, it was skinnier with the body image that I wanted myself to look like. And it kind of just made my dysphoria worse. But when I took art classes, I learned how much I like drawing realistically and how I love doing portraits of people and just capturing that moment of them. And I started to draw myself a little more realistically. I started to draw my body. I started to draw, how big I am, how, like, my chest and everything. And that kind of helped me, realize that I kind of just started looking at my body as an art piece, because I've noticed a lot actually that people will tell me that I'm beautiful and that my body is nice and all of these different things that I never accepted of myself because I didn't think about it that way. I never liked how I looked. And I feel like that's kind of normal, especially because of beauty standards nowadays. But it kind of just is worse when you're transgender. Just because, I'm not supposed to have a chest. I'm not supposed to have, the lower body parts. But when I started to draw myself realistically in all my body shapes, I didn't see my body as my body. This is a vessel that I am in at the moment, and I can change it whenever I get the chance. I can get rid of my chest. I can add what I feel, what I know I'm supposed to have when it comes to my physical appearance. And knowing that, it made the dysphoria a little less than normal. And I came to terms with the fact that my body is beautiful, and for a female figure, it's good. It's not bad. It's not ugly. It's something that people seem to really enjoy, and people tell me that I'm beautiful all the time and that my figure is awesome, even though I have a stomach and all of this crazy junk. And they tell me that I'm a beautiful, my body is a beautiful woman, and all of those things. And I've started to realize that they were right. This female figure that I have is beautiful. There's no reason, there's some reason, but if I wasn't transgender, there was no real reason other than, abuse and image of myself that I came up with in my mind, that I didn't think I was beautiful. And there was no reason for me to think that way, because this body is beautiful. Despite being overweight and despite, all the flab and the stretch marks and everything, it is still a beautiful body. It's just not who I am. And that's how I would explain it to people. People would be like, oh, you have such a beautiful body, it's such a shame. And I'm like, I agree, it is a beautiful body, but it's not really a shame. It's just not who I am. And that's why I'm changing it. But looking at yourself like this, looking at yourself as if you were looking at somebody else who looked like you, helped me figure out that this body that I'm in, it's not ugly. It's not an ugly body. It's just not right for me. And I came to terms with the fact that most people don't like their body anyways, and it's a normal thing to have, like a normal reaction to have to yourself. And when I drew myself and I looked at these pictures, I realized I like this body. Certain parts of this body I obviously would love to change. But for now, I am comfortable. And maybe this won't help anybody because maybe you don't draw, or maybe you don't have artists or friends, or maybe you don't believe that people will tell you the truth. It's okay to have dysphoria, but it's also okay to feel comfortable in the skin that you're in at the moment. Because with hormone replacement therapy, that will change. With surgery, that can change. And you just got to come to terms with the fact that, this body that you're in right now is beautiful. And you can change it to suit other needs, and it will still be beautiful. It'll just be different. I hope that makes sense. I hope that made sense to any of you out there. I don't know. That's just how I came to terms with being in this skin and being in this female body. Because it's temporary. And it doesn't define who I am. Because it's just a body. It's not who I am. It's not what I act like. It's not what I like. That sounds wrong. It's not the things that I like. It's not the hobbies that I create for myself. It's just a vessel that can be changed. I hope that helps anyone out there with dysphoria, or anyone out there wanting to understand what dysphoria is and how to overcome it, at least a little bit. Okay, I got really serious, and now I'm gonna end this video because I was super serious. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you got something out of this video that might help you, or help another friend. You can tell them about this. You can... Yeah. You guys are all beautiful. It doesn't matter how big you are, or how small you are, or if you have this or that, if you have a bunch of acne, if you have scars, if you have any... You're beautiful the way you are because of your insides and not because of your outsides. Your outsides are beautiful. But if your insides are beautiful too, your outsides will match that. And even if you have some bad traits, just know that you always have beauty inside of you and on the outside. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what gender you are. It matters to you what gender you are. And I get it. I really do. I had really bad dysphoria until I realized all of these things that I just told you, and coming to terms with the body that you're in, with the skin that you're living in at the moment, will help you progress in your transition, physically and mentally. You'll just be healthier in general. So find your own ways. Look at yourself in the body. Look at yourself in the mirror. Look at your body and just kind of look at it. And don't think of it as it's you. Think of it as if you were looking at somebody else. You wouldn't tell them that they were ugly. You wouldn't tell them that their body isn't right, would you? I guess you would. You could, you could do that. But if somebody else was looking at you, and if people are telling you you're beautiful, and people are telling you that your body isn't ugly, actually think about that. You can be stubborn and say no, it's not. But sit down and think, is it really? Look at it. Spend some time figuring out your body. Maybe one day you can become friends with it. That's my hope for everybody. Okay. I'm going to end this episode here. This video here. Episode what? It's not a TV show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. And I hope you know, I shed some light on body acceptance. All right. See you guys in 2 weeks, unless you want more. Peace.